Afternoon Collective. It's Sunday, May 19th. And today, we're going to start something new. Got to hit the ground running because, well, that's how life is. There's not always time to plan to get everything set up and ready and then try to catch your own tail. It's better to just have a hold of that tail and catch up on the way you're going, you know? So today I wanted to do a collective read for the week, since I may or may not do another read tomorrow, or we don't know. We're just living by the moment, the seat of our pants, trusting in God. I'd like to start with the Bible verse of the day. It is Mark 5:19, like the date. Jesus did not let the man from whom he had cast out a legion of demons come with him, but said, "Go home to your family and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how he has mercy upon you." What a wonderful thing to understand and behold. So now, I'll give an extended read, and we'll just see how it goes about what to keep in mind for the collective for today and for the future throughout the week. My name's Josh, by the way, if you didn't know that. Eventually, this will all probably be moved over to a separate channel, but right now, this is where I live, at Omeo, as they were today. The name changes all the time. But on the Mayan calendar today, it is 13/0/11/10/7. It's the day known as the deer, governed by Tlaloc, the Lord of rain and thunderstorms. Mizadal is the name of the day. Mez Adal, you know, is the day of the hunt. Hey, we're experiencing this first time together in alignment. There's no preparation for life. It happens as it does, as it comes to 251. It's a good day to stalk your quarry, a bad day to be stalked. Mezadal is a day for breaking old routines and to pay close attention to the routine of others. This is a day for doubling back on your tracks. This 13-day period is governed by the goddess of cotton and weaving, sexuality, and childbirth. She is the eater of sins. It is the sign of the scavenger, who feeds not on the power, but on the ills that darken the heart. The rainbow serpent, symbol of pleasure and folly, levitates amidst a shroud of smoke and shadow. These are 13 days of stolen secrets and odd twists of fate. The earth itself shakes. The ills created by shock can sometimes only be cured by a greater shock. So now, I call upon my angels, guardians, higher self beings of the highest white light, and the Spirit of Jesus Christ Himself to aid us in understanding and to give us protection today and from this moment forward. Please guide our hands and our words through all things and bestow our blessings upon all others. Thank you and amen. I always like to start with the Divine Feminine card. Because our mother, our divine mother, has a lot to do with everything. Just as it is spoken of as in the Aztec, our divine mother leads us on a broken path through many obstacles and detriments against ourselves. She gives us poison or whatever it takes to bring us to that moment of enlightenment. And then the trick is getting off of that nipple when it's inverted. And the only way we know ourselves is through what could be perceived as mistakes. But only those mistakes brought us to our higher self and to our higher being, to understand and to live in accordance with divine law. That is why the mother is so important. The physical mother, everyone has one of those. Whether she took care of us perfectly or she abused and neglected us, she is a figment of what the divine mother can provide. Because, for instance, a child that's always protected inevitably will seek what they don't know, or in some kind of pain to their own heart or dignity from the mother will cause them to turn on everybody, including themselves, and commit an act of violence against themselves or others. It doesn't matter whether it's drugs or road rage or whatever the sin is. Divine Mother lives in all living matter and loves everything equally. She births everything blindly and takes everything away blindly. But there is no blindness in it, because of the Lord, the Father, who lives within the darkness that keeps her at bay. Because she is both the dark and the light, the unknown God before all creation, and the chaos that it will all inevitably go back into to be reused by all things. There is no possession in God's law. All physical matter is connected and came from the ground and the dirt and the stars. But where did your mind come from? And where does it go? 24 hours a day. Is it in the body? Usually, barely. The mind, hence why narcissism and the ego are so important of topics, is the thing that it connects to God, but is the thing most removed from creation. And that is why it has to be submitted upon itself. That's the rules. I didn't make them, and not one human being ever could make the laws. They only had to be double balanced. So, with that in mind, let us see what our mother, whom we gratefully respect for all the spankings, for all the lashings, for the over love, the smothering, and then the neglect, the emptiness and gluttony, and the tears and emptiness, is all worth it. If we can find ourselves level with all others on a higher dimension to balance this one. Oh, looks like one threw She threw herself on the floor for us. In 2, we got. Let's see if this camera's reversed. Oh, it is. I forgot to fix that. My bad. Well, she tells us right away, agreeing. The white buffalo woman. The white buffalo calf woman. Because she's the prophetess of the sacred way. My heart is the compass, and the path of love is true abundance. And that is true, and love just gives and balances it. And takes whatever anybody gives him, whether it's a drug, a punch to the face, a bouquet of flowers, and balances it. That's the way of love, the way of peace. We all know this and can agree. Secondly, we have Queen Esther, the morning star. My ego is in service of my soul, and I trust my soul's divine timing. As I looked at the clock to see 11:31. Thank you, Mom. Now I'd like to pull from the angels and ancestors oracle cards to see what our Father has to say for today. The Father is a very interesting character. The most complex. Because how could he be born of a woman? Have a woman at his side that has power over him. All his children had everything they needed the moment they were conceived, and they never needed him. He has to hold up the entire community in his household with every word and every action and all his money, and be forgiving and gracious to everyone, whether in his home or elsewhere, to be considered a man. Connected as the smallest piece in the universe, which is akin to the mind. But everyone has a mind, so everyone is the father, abusing and raising themselves through their ego and through the world, mother. Each is a child of God, alone and together, equal with all others. Hallelujah! Alright. Here. Throw us one out, Dad. God dang it. You go a little faster. He likes to hold on to this crap. Well, 2 ended up on top, and we got 2 from Mom. So let's see what 2 Dad's got. He sends us the animal guardian. That was my Sophia. Her sacrifice has led to better things in my life. With that, I have a fire in my belly. A pain, love, passion. Mixed with a little bit of fear and anger and anxiety. And the only thing there is to do is to use that for good. To help those that suffer. There's no greater cause to help the innocent and to protect them. She says to trust our instincts. Next, we have the Oracle. Wait for important information. Which is true. We always must wait for important information. But in this case, Spirit told me it came out in reverse. It means we already have the important information we need. What are we waiting for? That's why we're here now, speaking with the collective, standing on our own two, as love and life as the collective center, here, there, everywhere, sharing ourselves in honest truth and naked before all, with only love in our hearts, especially for those who sinned against us. I apologize. I've been going through a hard time myself. And so I want to be here for everyone else the best I can. And know you're not alone. With that thought, let Odin guide the next part of the choir. Odin, ask Jesus. This week we're supposed to focus on reversing how we use our health and energy, power and vigor, to use them in more helpful ways, to both help and heal others and ourselves, to make sure that we fill our own cup. Otherwise, if we can't help ourselves and don't have enough energy, then we're depleted in what we can do for every other. Because each person is a ley line on this universal grid, and each person has to stake their ground within their soul, where they are, and carry that temple everywhere they go, in honor and dignity for the purity of all things. And by purity, I don't mean, well, so-and-so is on, and so-and-so, who cares? Only God knows why things are the way they are. In my case, for instance, if God wouldn't have told me how to wake up, there'd be no chance for my soul. I'd be lost forever. And no person was willing to help me, to be good to me, to take me into the fold, to be like, hey, he's blind and stupid. You know, maybe this is like the best one. I should take care of this one because he's going to do whatever I ask. He's the sucker. He really is like Jesus. He's like, just like, oh, yeah, I just take it on the side. Oh, hey, Josh, we love you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Will you come over and make us dinner? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Not anymore. I care about everyone, and I like serving people. I like being happy. I love smiling. I like seeing children smiling. I love pets. I love just unity and grace. And I thank God for everything. For showing me all those that were feeding off of me in every dimension. As I continue seeking more like myself. Because every day is the last. And yesterday's already dead. It's gone. You never get it back. What happened then barely matters to anybody. It only matters in business, technically. But then you have to keep track of every last single thing. If it's going to matter, then you have to keep track of every single thing. Every single thing. You can't be holding a grudge against somebody for, oh, that one time they did. Yeah, well, then you have to pull out your fucking list and be like, well, so then this morning I slept in this late and I pulled out my pipe and then I had 10 cigarettes in bed and then I blew up on this person and then I masturbated and then I hit the bottle and then... Or my kids were running around. I didn't pay them any attention. And then, I wasn't giving any love here. I didn't show up for the birthday party. I don't do anything for anybody who doesn't do things for me. Forever. Unless you can pull out that list on your goddamn self and have that shit on record, you barely have a right to speak. And everything you speak might as well be from that freaking scroll. And no, hey, I got the most shit there is in the universe against me. And I'm going to be the best I can to every single person and be humble and listen and be patient for things to work themselves out. Pardon me while I check this for one moment. How rude. Oh, this is my landlord. He missed me at church. I know, I didn't see him there. Well, he can check me here if he comes here, It's okay, I had a wonderful time. Gotta tell him about the plans, because he knows what happened to Sophia. He's the one that invited me to church, and now my coworkers and neighbors are supporting on my side, because this shouldn't happen to anybody. Nobody should have their kids in the yard, pet or child, have that happen to them. Even if they were out there alone, any adult would be like, hey, knock, 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 is this your kid? But they knew it was my kid. All right, I'm terribly sorry. That was so very rude. Let's get a vibe. Let's get a vibe. There's a lot of vibes to choose from. Oh, a couple missing from the deck. Holy Spirits, Holy Angels. Tell us, guide us, what we need to feel and understand this week. Ground our hearts and our minds and set our intentions forward together as a collective for peace and love and unity. Solidarity with sovereignty in every human being, everywhere. We got discipline. Ruled by Aries. Practices the best of all instructions. Well, hey, that's what I've been doing for the last few years, practicing some weird things that God told me to do. God tells you to do it, you better fucking do it. It don't matter. You gotta walk in that fairness, you know? Routine, which facilitates development of abilities, cultivation through effort. And that's where we are. Working on every day to the best of our abilities. And on the bottom of the deck, we have our second one. They're both nearly the same color, too. Even though this deck is rainbow, we have forgiveness, which is a little more purple. This one's a little more blue. Forgiveness is both Aries and Pisces. So forgiveness and discipline are two of the same thing. You have discipline, for instance, as a soldier, so that you can be a killing machine and act upon reflex for the best of your well-being and those in your team. But ultimately, you have to have forgiveness, which is also the power of discernment, to know what's a threat and what's not a threat, and when to go for the double tap or headshot, and when it's not necessary, because every single human life is valuable. And we can't make any excuses. Well, I thought, yeah, well, after it's all said and done, what you thought really doesn't give about nothing. Only the truth prevails. And each has to pull their shirt off and hand it over and present their back for flaying. And then if you get off, there's no honor in it. God used you as a tool, as a weapon, as an instrument. Which is why the military is so important for training and protecting this country. Everything's a little bit backwards and inside out, but that's the way it had to be. So everyone requires respect. Forgiveness. It all comes out in the wash. Pardon or exoneration, releasing a grudge, amnesty to enemies. I forgive. And that was it. 2818. You know, I haven't prepared, though. And I don't read like other readers because I've listened to so many other readers, and I have my own perspective. I read for us. Me, one of one, transmitting to one of one, the other me. Told to embrace goddess energy. The goddess energy is far more powerful than the violent masculine energy that's perceived of what it is to be, I am a god! Yeah, and then the next arrow comes and goes right in your throat, and then you get dropped like a hot potato. So power's not that strong like that. True power sits and waits and carries the load of the baby, of the family, as the only one that can carry on the lineage. And soon, just like the man, kind of, as soon as that woman dies, can't make no more babies. Not with that one. And all the babies can't get another mom. I mean, they can, but it ain't complicated like that. The family gets destroyed. Equally, as if the father's cut out. Which is a problem in our society, where couples try to hold things against and over each other, and women get with men that they don't love deeply to the core and would die for. Because every man who is a man only feels that way towards his wife and his children, and his wife is the greatest and only person in his existence. Even if he has the best relationship with all of his children, if he doesn't have the ultimate heavenly bond with his wife, there isn't a family. And that's on both parents. That's on both adults. You can lose a child, but you can always make another one. You can't find another soulmate. Not in the same way. So children are the most precious resource. But unless you have a foundation of a perfect partnership that is like this and nothing can break it. No friends, no job, no people on the outside, no social media, nobody comes in the middle of this. Then there is no reason to have children, and there's no foundation for them to live. And then they do end up finding God through the dark mother, through having to go through the path that God takes them on. Not having parents who teach them genuine love, teach them genuine bonding, to show and teach the world and how to accept it and how to live within it in strength and solidarity with the greatest kindness and compassion for all things. And the Heavenly Mother, the Goddess, is both the subconscious that reminds you and remembers everything and is always watching, and is also the physical matter of every single cell in this body, in this phone, in this table, in these cards, in the oxygen, in the light, in the light bulbs, in the fan, in the ceiling, in the floor, in the sky, in the moon, in the quasars. The woman, the goddess, is everywhere. And the mind within every single human being is the masculine, the male, who has to raise up himself. And that goes for every single woman. Because every single body is feminine. Whether you have a penis or a vagina, it doesn't matter. Every physical body is owned by feminine energy. Masculine energy has no body if it doesn't have its own body. And if it has its own body, it'll respect everybody else. Otherwise, it comes to reckon and reason that that body and that mind within there might not be one that needs to exist in this world. And then the trial begins. For each and every one of us, every time we take that corner at 35, 451, But you have to have suffered and gone through the trials to be able to hold it down in peacetime. And if all you ever had is peacetime, there ain't no way you're going to be able to hold society or a family foundation or a business together when shit hits the fan. There's just no way about it. It's impossible. Father, Jesus, please tell us, which Egyptian would like to speak the loudest to us today? "33. The goddess of healing, Selkis. Which is kind of in the word. You don't sell your kisses, and you don't just give them away, but you gotta kinda do that anyway. But you can't just walk over to somebody and be like, "Oh, mwah, I gotcha," because well, that's very rude. You both gotta be leaning in, kind of like, until you're bonded. So healing in this Egyptian aspect tells us patience. And if we want something, then we gotta walk parallel with it. We can't just boom, take it over, or be like, "Oh, come chase me, come chase me." No, it don't work that way. You gotta walk parallel, and slowly things come together if they belong together. As challenging as that is. 3737 interrupted again. Thank you. Then God's love. Thank you. I'm being helped to make sure that this doesn't happen to me anymore. At my home, the community's coming together. Thank you so much. I so apologize. Everything always happens all at once in my world. I'm sitting here alone, got nothing going on. In the moment, I'm like, guess I'm gonna go do this. And then everything's like, no, you're not. The cats, or the cat now, who has become so very sad and crying a lot. She shed tears after she witnessed Sophia, and it's just the most horrific thing you can imagine. If that was done to a human being, you know what they'd do? They'd go to all the neighbors within several blocks and go to my online posts and track everyone's cell phone within this block for that day and find out exactly who did it. And that person would be caught. But all the evidence is still already there. The person did have a cell phone and probably did have a car. Whether they walked from the next door neighbor's house on either side, from a child from across the street, or was somebody from my family, my stepfather driving by, or my brother trying to get back at me, and his friends. In any case, there's already all the proof that anybody needs to find out. Sure, nobody can convict him. And I didn't, but all that the system or anyone needs to know is who the threats are in order to follow them around to neutralize them. But ultimately, everybody just needs to be safe. The community has to band together so these things don't happen to anybody. You should never be afraid to open your door, to be outside in the open. And goddamn, definitely, your children and your pets should always be safe in your own front yard, right next to your porch, in the middle of the day, with your door open. But now you know how it is hanging out with me. Maybe I'll do a pick a card in the next couple days. And then eventually I'll be transferring this tarot stuff over to my other channel. But I'll have to create an intro. I had to learn all kinds of new stuff. I've been kind of hoping to partner up with somebody. I have no finances. Barely hanging on. Just trusting in God. And good people. That's all I got. Our Yijing card for the day is to remind us about 14, which is the number of change and the absence of change. And 14 signifies of how the mind always changes. Isn't that weird? But it's always here. You'd be thinking about this, that, the other thing. You'd be thinking about the movie, which never actually existed. About why is the sky blue, blah, blah, blah. And then you see a kid on a bike ride by, and then suddenly you go, when I was 5, there was a kid on a bike that looked just like that. And all of a sudden a memory tied to your vessel from the past comes up as if you're chained up in this one spot by yourself. You can never escape. That everything you've ever witnessed is like stuck on you like a whole bunch of freaking stickers on a trunk. At the same time as at any moment you can change. You just go, oh, look. Yeah, now I have short hair. Big deal. I just changed my mind. I'm somebody else. I'm not the same person. My name's Bill now. I mean Teresa. So, great possession tells us that balancing and centering our souls is the only possession we could ever have. From the source, create success. Here. There ain't nothing out there. There ain't nothing out there. If it ain't a reflection of you, that's all completely different, all completely the same. all completely opposite, all completely connected in a higher dimension. That is how it is. Everything is connected from a pinpoint of light in the dark, as it were. And our guidance after that, I pulled the tarot. We have the moon in reverse. Which is 18. I'm told this reminds us that what we believe and think in our hearts, what we pray in our minds, what we hold on to is these truths. Not the scars from the past, not the bad memories, but what we wish to see in our lives today and in the future already exists and is coming for us. Nothing is truly hidden, and that which is hidden ends up becoming the greatest light. Isn't that weird? We know that with buried treasure. How some guy 800 years ago hit a barge or an iceberg or something and sunk a ship, and somebody 800 years later going through some paperwork and goes, holy crap, there's 800 gold bars on that ship and it's never been recovered. Where's it at? I'm gonna get a team together. And that's a story of human ingenuity since the beginning of time. If it wasn't buried treasure, it comes down to necessity facilitates invention. Is the mother of invention. You're starving on an island. You don't know anything about plants or anything, but you run into a coconut. You're like, what the hell is this? Well, it must be edible. There must be something inside. How do I get this open? No, that ain't gonna work. No, that ain't gonna work. No, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. Huh. Guess I gotta invent a new tool. Because you're breaking open on a rock. Damn. Well, the stuff that was inside's all gone. I mean, there's still meat. But you ruined it. And you can't store it that way. You know. So not having is what creates. Having everything you need breaks you down. Your willpower makes one lazy, unforgiving, unappreciative, disrespectful, selfish, da 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 da. In general. That's not to say that you can't have everything in the world at your feet. Be living in the greatest palace, greater than the Vatican. Have guards and people bring you the finest delicacies, all this. But the moment you don't respect everybody and give all your love back to them, you don't deserve it. You deserve to be on the street. A lot of other readers use music in their readings for specific reasons. Akin to myself, I will not be using music. Not lyrics, not their songs. I won't be bringing up anybody in media. to the best of my ability. I mean, sometimes there's an example, but I want to stand on my own 2 feet, as I always have. But there's been a lot of people interested in my path, and a lot of tangled wires that have tried to force their way into my life. It does have to do with certain people in high positions of power, and I don't know how to feel about any of them because I've never met any of them, and they all have their own reasons and their own contracts, and they live where they are and do what they do. And as far as I can tell, that's how they're going to be, and I'm not. Who am I to judge what they're doing? I don't care. Do it. They're not going to tell me what to do. They're going to have to come to my house and ask me. If they can't do that, then who cares? You can contact me. You're not going to sway me. And what's the sway anyway? Right is right. Couple more. We'll go for an hour. Because we're just relaxing, warming up. Something positive to do after church. Because this has nothing to do with darkness or the devil, demons, spirits. This only has to do with purity. Just like stictomancy. Open the Bible, ask a question, open the Bible, boom, your own higher self. Because the body and the mind are connected above and below and all around, and the mind is the only one that's separate. And so it calls itself. Will bring up what pertains to it. There's no difference. Every moment within a human life. That's where wishes and prayers reside. Is in the same space. This is just the best thing I knew to do for the day. While I wait for the next step, which is why I've been receiving these texts. And so all the cards are always a reflection of oneself, but there's only one oneself for each of us. It's a conundrum, right? How my higher self is your higher self, and his higher self is her higher self, but each person's higher self is individual to them, and only as big as they develop. And everybody else has the same higher self, and it's only as big as they raise it. But at the same time, the higher self within each person and all things is only the tallest thing in all of creation, sitting at the bottom inside of everyone. And this has been something complicated to explain for all of time, because it's not science. The ego isn't just science. It's not just magic. Religion isn't just a lie. You can't say there is no God. You can say it all you want, but what that implies is a whole lot more than you're willing to put on your plate, I'm sure. If you're looking in science books trying to figure it out, because all that stuff is both right and both wrong, and has a hidden code in it that's telling you, hey dummy, turn around. Yeah. And this is the human condition. We're all punking ourselves. Every single person is punking themselves with their own higher self. It's got a scorpion tail, and whatever you do, or whatever you think, whatever you say, then boom, you come back around and you sting your own ass. That is challenging, ain't it? That's why the church was invented. To both balance both sides, inside and out, all around, because God and Jesus and the higher self and what that all is, it's not nothing. It is definitely something greater than any human mind can fully comprehend, and you're a blazing idiot if you think that you have any power over it. I guarantee you that. Not one of us has any power over this power. That's why everyone has to walk beside it to have any kind of toe in the door, so to speak. But so, what he says is, through her, twofold. We're all supposed to be inspired while we birth a new age. We're at the center of all creation together. If we have the same understanding, then our love will prevail over the hardships and heal the world. I'm not the only spiritual person that I personally know that has gone through violent acts. This keeps getting open because of the scar. Every time I shave, I cut it open. Eventually it'll be smooth. So this happened to me, Sophia, just over the weekend. A Jewish mystic of mine, the acquaintance friend of mine, was hit in the head, where somebody was taking out their hatred for whatever they think about thinking, about what somebody else says, about what somebody who claims that has Jewish stuff on thinks that they have the right to harm somebody regardless of what you're wearing, is wrong. She's about the most peaceful person I know. Somebody attacked her, called her Jewish Zionist. The whole reason her presence is solidified is because people, Israelis and Jews and freaking turkeys at the South Pole, it doesn't matter. All living things must be respected. All living things must be respected. All living things must be respected. Nobody has any right to harm another. Finito. And then my friend Juan, his family attacked him too. Busted his head open. All this other stuff. I think it was his brother too. And what did any of us do? We grabbed him, we fucking kicked him on the ground, and we beat him to death and we ripped out their guts and we started eating them. No, we didn't do any of that. That's what the demons do. That's what the demons fantasize about. That's where they live. What did we do? We took it on God's time. And held the love in the space for healing. So as we're birthing this new age of peace and compassion for ourselves, which will multiply across mankind, we have to dream up our new world to bring it into being. The other half of her message, it's share your voice. Come out of the cave. Quit hiding. Speak your truth. We're here. Use those lungs for peace. Come out of the cave. Persecution and expression. It's 11:51. It's time for me to end this reading and take some personal time. Maybe I'll do another reading later today. I was going to do a live, but apparently you have to have 50 shorts to do a live. And so that's kind of what I see the plan for the week is. You know, it's kind of challenging since I've been here so long on YouTube. Doing this secret thing on the side that I was supposed to do because, well, God made me do it. And I don't know. But now the tide's turning, and all my followers and all those that know to check on me and such are here. And so I'd like to continue on this path in this channel for now. And once I have enough shorts and enough information that I can transfer it over to my other channel, which will be called and is already available, but there's nothing there, The Collective Crossroads. That's where I will be developing my daily, weekly, and monthly messages. Maybe some by zodiac signs, maybe some by Aztec calendar. There's a lot of information, a lot of knowledge that I have that ultimately I can share like this all day talking to myself. But you know, I'm really here to help each individual too. And I'd like to have a closer relationship with people. And I don't like doing personal readings for people because to me tarot is very sacred in a certain kind of way that is just who it is, who I am. And that's why I've held back in having a tarot channel. And also because I have all my faith in God and understanding of God in every religion, in every culture, and have seen that there is a string, that if there is God, it runs through everything, living and inanimate, and there is no escaping from this. It is only one's mind and heart and true intentions that bleeds, whether they are of the darkness or of the light, and what their purpose behind what they're channeling is. I've channeled all the dark forces, all the demons of hell and all the angels of heaven, and know them all to some degree. Because there's no way that anybody can know anything completely. The only way you can know something completely is completely blindfolded. And then you turn the corner. Ah, I knew it. It's there. Yeah, but you didn't do it. God did it. So, yeah, that's the only way you can ever say, I knew it. Yeah, but you can't hold on to that as pride and see, I know it all. I'm the man. I can read everybody. You can't hide from me. You know, what the fuck ever. People get so fucking stupid crazy on this God shit. And you gotta fucking aim it at your own forehead. That's where it resides. Ain't nobody got power against God for anything. Like, there's only one thing. I mean, really. If there's two things, then it means that your mind is dislocated from reality, which means it's dislocated from your body, from your society, from your environment, from your community, your nation, and from your higher self. And then everybody is actually coming along going, psh, 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 psh. Everywhere you go, trying to, like they're rolling dough, you know? Everything comes along, gives you a little bit more need. You need a little bit more, you need a little bit more. Here, we'll help you out, brother. Until you're in alignment, and then all of a sudden it becomes like, damn, I thought there was crickets that lived around here. Yeah, I was scared. Did I do something wrong? Oh no. Oh no, I'm in alignment. Oh, this is what it's supposed to be? What? There's supposed to be peace in life? Oh my God. I'm supposed to gradually and gently go from one thing to the next. There's no stealing from anybody. There's no hurrying to do anything. Everything runs just like, man, you go into nature and it's so peaceful. But everything in there is killing each other. You walk into society and everything's dead, eating itself. Making trouble for everybody else. That's so weird. So this is Josh. And our message to the collective: God bless everyone.